Hi, this is Urvi from your video classes. Through this video, I'll try to tell you something more about figures of speech. Figurative language is very essential to make your ordinary expression appear extraordinary. So, if you want to make your expression impressive, you should know the use of figures of speech. I call figures of speech as ornamental language. The first figure of speech that we are going to take up today is alliteration, in which series of words having same sound are used in the same sentence. Remember, it is the sound being repeated and not the letter. Many a times you get confused. Remember, it is the sound, the syllable sound. For example, kids kept kicking the ball. Here which sound is being repeated? Key. Kids, key, kicking, key. Key sound is being repeated. So, this sentence we can say has used alliteration. One more example if we see. River Ganga is the lifeline of India. Which sound is being repeated here? It is li. L-I. But we pronounce it as Li. River Ganga is the lifeline. So, li sound is being repeated here, and this is also an example of alliteration. The second type of figures of speech is repetition, wherein a word or a phrase is repeated in the same line. As in the example, he had one notebook, one pencil and one pen with him. Here, what is repeated? Which word? One. One is repeated in the same line. The second example if we see, my life is happy because my life is simple. It's very easy and simple for you to pick out the words being repeated. They are my life. See, it's a phrase we can say. Life and my, both words are being repeated in the same sentence. The next one is simile. Comparison between two objects which have at least one common attribute, using the words like, as or so. What do we do here? We compare two objects which have at least one common attribute, one common characteristic. But while comparing, we are using words like, as or so. She is busy as a bee. So what are we doing? We are comparing she, this girl, with a bee. And what is the common attribute here is? What is the common attribute? Yes, being busy. Both are very busy. Next, if we see, camel is like a ship in the desert. So, what is the common attribute here? Both are a mode of transport. The next example is, gold is precious and so are my subscribers to me. Really, you all are very precious to me, just like gold. So, what is the common thing here between gold and my subscriber? Both are very precious. Being precious is the common attribute I am talking about. The next type is metaphor, wherein comparison between two objects which have at least one common attribute is done. But here we are not using the words like, as or so to show the comparison. As in the example, she was shining star of the class. What are we doing? We are comparing this girl with a shining star. That means she is bright like a star. The brightness is the common attribute there. The next example if we see, all the world's a stage. Here, the world is compared with a stage. Why, you know? Because see, In both, there are entries and exits. Nothing is permanent, whether you are on the stage or whether you are in the world. There is nothing that is permanent. So, there is a comparison between world and it is compared to a stage. The next is personification, means giving human qualities to an inanimate object. My alarm clock screams at me every morning. Do you think alarm clock will scream like how we scream? No. But alarm clock, which is an inanimate object, is given the human quality of screaming here. Let me give you one more example. Flowers in the garden have smile of children. Do you think flowers can smile? No. Here flowers are personified by giving them the human quality of smile. The next figure of speech for the day is hyperbole, that is exaggeration, to add a more dramatic meaning to the sentence. That means you make overstatement. Those who know Hindi, I can say that bole is to tell something, hyperbole. Say extra, say something more, but it's not hyperbole or hyperbole, it is hyperbole. But to remember, you can remember it this way. He is older than the hills. We are comparing this old man and saying that he is older than the hills. Is it possible? Can a person be older than the hills? No. It is just an overstatement. The next example is, I have told you to clean your room hundreds of times. Correct? No? Your mother also must be telling you so many times, but it's never hundreds of times. It is overstatement or exaggeration to make it more dramatic. The next type is tautology, where similar ideas are expressed in the same line. For example, animals do not sweat and whine about their condition. If you see here, sweat and whine both means to complain. We have never seen animals complaining about anything, right? Sweat and whine. Since both the words have same meaning, that is to complain, it is a tautology. I went to the ATM machine. Now see here. ATM word itself has the word machine in it. Still we call it ATM machine. It is an example of tautology. The next type is antithesis, that is contrasting ideas are used in the same line. Two opposites are used in the same line. Train is running up and down the route. It goes up the route and down the route. Here, up and down, two opposites are used in the same line or same sentence, we can say. The next example is, he speaks little but listens more. Here, there are two pairs of opposites. One is speaks and listens. Both are opposite. And little and more. This is also one other pair of opposites. So it's not that only one pair of opposites can be used. You can use more than one pair also. One more figure of speech that we see is onomatopoeia. A word conveys the sound that is to be expressed. Barking dogs seldom bite. See, when we speak barking, immediately we can visualize the bark of a dog. It is onomatopoeia. Thundering clouds scared small children. See, when you see the cloud and it is thundering, when you read this line, you can imagine the thunder in the sky, right? And that is onomatopoeia. With this, we have covered 9 figures of speech. These are the basic ones which you must know and which you must use in your writing skills even. It's time to test your knowledge. What you have to do is you have to write 2 examples each of the 9 figures of speech that we have done today. But before that, I'll just do a quick recap for you all. The first one that we did today was alliteration, wherein a syllable sound is repeated, whereas in repetition, a word or a phrase is repeated. Simile is where two objects are compared using words like, as, or so. Whereas in metaphor, there is comparison, but like, as, or so are not used. Personification is where an inanimate object is given human quality, and in hyperbole, there is exaggeration or overstatement of facts. Tautology is where there are two similar ideas used in the same sentence, and exactly opposite to it is antithesis, where two contrasting ideas are used in the same line. The last one that we did was onomatopoeia, wherein a word resembles a sound. I hope you all are clear with all the 9 figures of speech. There are a few more which will be taken care in my next video. Till then, keep practicing grammar. See you again in the next video. Till then, don't forget to like my video and share it with your friends. Bye-bye. Take care.